Okay, there we go. We are live again. I'm a little off center. There we go. That's a bit better. It's kind of like I should take a picture of what my webcam is sitting on for the world to know. Anyway, all right, Tazik. I believe you have been our dedicated last time on, or I guess our chronologist, that would be the better term.
Probably. Alrighty then. So last time on the Wormwood, we awoke to the surgeon coming at the door to check on Iru's hand. When he found that that his hand was healed, he asked him what caused this and found out that Quint is a healer. Quint and Eldon discovered that Croup was passed out in his quarters, and when entering, they released a horde of chickens. They had to round them up before picking Croup's pocket to open the kitchen to begin the day. Quint and Eldon hatched a plan to get more items back from Cutthroat Grok while they were bonding in the galley. Morgan was faced with Mr. Plug again, who propositioned her once more, and then went to speak to Sandra Quinn and maybe getting some of our material back. Iru swabbed the deck to a mirror polish and discovered a chance grate that led to the officers' quarters, and saw a pair of officers wearing wide-brimmed hats, with one seemingly appearing from nowhere. Tazik was tasked with coiling rope and found his way to speak with Rosie Cuswell and made friends with her, and another halfling named Giffer Tibbs who was in charge of fishing. Quint cooked an amazing meal, truly a feast beyond that ever cooked in the galley of the Wormwood, and possibly the best one that will ever be cooked there. Morgan and Iru helped Tazik with a giant fish he charmed the halfling's fisherwoman into giving him, and with their assistance they got it to the galley, where all our misfit posse was united outside of the cabin for the first time. Began to formulate a plan when Plug interrupted and told us to clear the villages of rats. Grok gave us some weapons and we descended into the depths and found a horde of dire rats. Iru dispatched a rat and Morgan turned two rats into shish kebabs as Tazik charmed one with his ratly ways. Eldon shocked one with lightning zap before a gang of spiders descended on us, possibly because Eldon crashed through their webbing. Tazik was bitten by a rat and a spider before stabbing the spider off his shoulder. Morgan and Iru were bitten by rats and may feel the effects of the bite later, though Tazik's ratly immune system took the brunt of his bite. Iru and Morgan skewered another rat each before Tazik charmed a second rat, which began to run away from Iru as soon as its rage went down. The situation began to look grim as Eldon was set upon by a rat and a horde of spiders, being bitten by both before Quintus leaped down to join the fray. He took a swing and missed horribly, before missing again, and deciding to take the Sir Robin route, and he ran away.
Bravely.
He bravely ran away. Iru cast a spell and turned Morgan's sword into a flaming rapier, and had a flash of insight as to why cooking is a thing. Then he and Morgan finished off the last two rats. Iru slew a spider flying through the air at Tazik, and went over to say the last spider on Eldon's body, and epically anime stabbed through the heart of the spider without touching Eldon, thus ending the battle. After the battle, Tazik was charming the rats again as everyone else was clearing out the villages. We fled and went to the kitchen where Plug asked if we cleaned the villages. He found out that there were two rats still alive, but Tazik convinced him that they may be useful. He gave Tazik a week to train them before he killed them himself. He returned most of the weapons to Cutthroat Grok, but Quint charmed her into letting him keep his silver dagger, and she may or may not try to break him in half later. We will see.
Oh my.
Allegedly.
It's kind of being broken in half if you're into it.
Bifurcation is bifurcation. Right.
All right, so I think on my little timeline for you guys, what we did last week would have brought you to roughly like 12:30ish, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you got your afternoon shift still to pull. A solid, I think it's about 7 hours before the bell tolls for the end of the day. And yeah, me and you guys, as we discussed last week, we'll probably go into the evening, into the night, give you some nighttime shenanigans. But before we get there, the ship is yours. What are y'all up to?
Well, I feel that Quint is still probably pretty busy with a little bit of the leftover prep in the galley. And also he's going to be probably trying to salt preserve some of the rat cutlets these is dragged in. So that's going to occupy a little bit of his time.
That's fair. It's fair. Did you guys ever like zoom in there and see that there's just like fish heads in the pots and pans?
It's delicious.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
where the vitamins are hiding.
that's right. That's right. It's where all the good stuff. You eat the delicious fish brains and you gain their intelligence.
Facts.
That is how
All
science
right.
works.
Well, I believe Morgan and Tazik are expected on deck still to do their duties, as well as Iru. So,
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to. You can deal with the punishments for not.
It's okay. I can't work on charming the rats until later, anyways.
Straight facts. Yeah, I'll just leave the rats in here vibing. I'm assuming one of you guys closed the door behind you, right? So the rats don't escape.
It's okay. There's a ladder. They're not that smart yet.
Rats
Yeah.
can't climb.
Bold assumption. Oh yeah, I'm also just
Quinn
going to
wouldn't make sure
casually
the door was
mention
closed.
that little kid, that Jack Scrimshaw there. He's still actively bleeding, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, he's still down here.
Hey, kid, are you bleeding all over the nice hay over there?
Is but a scratch, sir.
Yeah, and you're bleeding everywhere from that little scratch. Come
It's
over
a
here,
flesh
kid.
wound.
All right, hold on a minute. Now here's the deal. All right, it seems like you know exactly how to get around this place. Remind me, what was your name again? I'm Quint. Quint Cook.
He sticks out his hand towards you. That was just like cupping the gash on his arm, so there's very much blood on it. He says, "Jack Scrimshaw at your service, sir."
Scrimshaw. I've heard that name before. Well, Jack. Welcome to the galley. This place has become a little bit of a haphazard medical area as well, mainly because I keep it a little better sanitized than the carpentry place down the hall. Come over here. Hold on a minute. Let's see. You look like you know your way around this place. You probably know people, right? Perhaps I could take some of that pain away. I got ways to fix you up real well. Come here, boy.
Half man, are you seeking to bribe me?
No, not at all. I'm looking
'Cause
to
I'm hella
provide a
corrupt.
service for you. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm looking to provide a service for you. In exchange, perhaps, you could remember me and my friends here in a polite light, we'll say. Anyways, give me a few seconds here. Hold on. And Quint kind of turns around and he picks up a bucket full of salty water and he kind of dips his hands in it and he then grabs a somewhat greasy but still one color cloth and he kind of wipes his hands off. He's like, all right, hold on a minute here. Ooh. Can you guys look away? I'm a little camera shy.
All right.
And then he will place his left hand kind of over the gash on his upper arm. And then he'll put his right hand down near his like small bite mark on his hand. And he'll kind of breathe in and out. And then he's going to cast Cure Light Wounds on Jack Scrimshaw.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's see how much you heal him for.
Mm-hmm. And again, Jack probably gets a feeling kind of reminiscent of hunger in his arms that leaves him kind of itchy, but at the same time, I'd imagine alleviates some of his pain. How about I
That'd
roll
be
that
1d8
for you?
plus 2.
There we go.
It's your level, right?
Correct.
Look at me remembering the rules to this game I've been DMing for the last 6 years.
So that's 6
Excellent.
points
Well,
of
that
healing.
brings him
Jack.
up to an indeterminate number of hit points. And you know, he takes a look at his arm and stares at where the wound was, and he looks at you and he stares at his arm and says, "That's great and all, but I'm a bit hungry."
Yeah. Well, I got some good news. You see this huge spread behind me? Well, I'm planning only the best for tonight. But tell you what, I don't suppose any of my friends have any tasks for you, but let me give you a little bit of food early. Yeah, give me a few seconds here. And Quint will turn around, and he's going to look for something
I mean, you got like
serviceable
some
that he could give
generic
the
little
kid.
bits here. Some mostly fresh green apples, lots of onions, tons of root vegetables. Honestly, more than well to feed enough to feed a ship. Honestly, on an extended voyage.
Cool.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you got something.
All right. He takes like a quarter of a potato that's been boiled and gives it to the kid with a little pinch of salt, and then he grabs this doesn't matter. A little
Okay.
carrot, we'll say. There's another word that I couldn't find, and that's
Root
okay.
vegetable.
So yeah, he gives him some small tubers and says, "Oh, hopefully that'll tide you over. Just don't tell anyone I gave you this, and try to stay out of trouble at the very least. You can't be walking around with rat
Me ma
wounds."
take good care of me, you see. Been on this ship my whole life, know the ways ins and outs. And, thank you for your patronage here with this nice tater. You ever need something done for you, just let me know, yeah?
Oh, I'm sure I'll find something. In the meantime,
Yeah, he
like I
tips his
said,
hat
stay out
at
of
you
trouble.
and, scurries off.
I tap Quintus on the shoulder and go, "Did you check him for diseases?"
I don't have time for
Okay.
that.
Happy cooking.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look infected yet. We'll find out in a couple days, I guess.
Oh, thanks for the reminder, actually. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Are you,
I'm
though?
safe. I
So
don't have any.
I'm just gonna take a quick second here to actually I'm gonna thank Season here, and your RP has actually been on point for the last 3 sessions. Definitely the kind of thing I'm
Aw.
looking for. Taking that extra little bit to
Well, thank
explain
you.
the details of what you're giving him and how you're performing, your curing, and your healing, and all that. So I think this is the first one actually being awarded for RP. So take that hero point, buddy, and wear it with pride.
Yay! Hero point. 'Cause, I gotta go make a patch and like put it on my shoulder.
It's a scout patch.
We should get like tokens we can grab when we
Honestly, I've
give
been
us hero
trying to
points.
figure something out, but I already have so many mods running in this in this instance. Like that compendium alone
physical
is like
tokens.
5,000 items. So I'm like hesitant to add anything else.
I created a feat spot for hero points specifically so I could track them.
That'll work.
Smart.
I just put them in my notes tab.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Along with
I
my
mean, actually, if you put it in your feats, that's actually not a bad idea because then you can count expended uses and whatever.
You can add uses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, some food for thought. Anyway, just wanted to do that. So by all means, sorry to interrupt. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I think Quint kind of gestures and says, "I'll join the lot of you up top. I still got a couple things I got to finish up in here." Eldon, you're welcome to take some time up top if you want, but I mean, I'm sure I could still use the help. Entirely up to you.
I might go wander around, see if Group's up yet. Like go check on him, make sure he's okay.
I'm sure Kroop's fine.
But all right.
All right, Morgan Tazik, would you? I just realized you guys can't move yourself up to the second deck. Would you like me to move you guys up there, or
No.
is there something you want to do? Okay.
Yes, please.
That's me, your DM there with his goldfish brain. As you guys just like warp through reality to get where you're going.
Speaking of someone who was just rewarded by this DM, you're pretty cool.
That's right. Yes, buy. Continue to buy your love.
Buy the loyalty of the crew.
All right. Well, we'll stick in the basement for a quick second. Keep up with Eldon. What are you up to, buddy? You looking to go up to?
I'm gonna head over and kind of poke my head into Group's room, see if
Right.
he's still tapped out. Kind of delicately open the door, make sure I don't open it wide enough for any of the chickens to go.
So-
Kind of put my leg in the hole and just poke an
So
eye
I'm
in
gonna
and
leave this
see
up
what's
to you
going on.
guys because there's something I want to point out. Last time you guys were in Kroop's room, you didn't close the door behind you, at least on the map. I'm assuming as players, y'all took the time to close the door behind you, but on the map, the door was remained open. So should I, as your DM, take that literally and have chickens running all around the hold that you guys have to catch, or just assume you guys close the door behind you?
Now, as hilarious as this would be, I'm pretty sure that in character
All right.
Quint did close the door.
I'm going to respect what you guys did in character
Yeah,
instead of
pretty
trying
sure
to
we
get you
closed the
guys.
door. We were pretty delicate about the chickens the
Yeah,
whole time.
exactly. That's why I was kind of like, I don't want to like force this on your throats. I figure see how you guys feel about it, because it feels a little shitty to do to you too, right? So
All of a sudden, we get flogged. 'cause
Well, and the
chickens
fact that
are out.
anybody who misclicks on the screen can open the door.
also facts. It's actually straight facts too. I could always take the time to just lock them behind you guys, but
Like,
there you go. All right. Anyway, you open up the door.
yeah. Just kind of standing in the door, put my leg in the doorway, kind of lean in a little bit. Group's still out cold.
Group's out cold. There's like 3 chickens like sleeping on top of him, and like around the corner on you assume Grok's hammock. There, the rest of the chickens are just kind of like laying there. You see, they've like half formed some nests in the time that's in the few hours that you've been there since you were gone, and one of them has produced an egg.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna sidle in, close the door behind me, and then kind of casually walk over and try to take the egg without getting mauled by an army of chickens.
I know from personal experience that generally speaking, hens who are broody don't actually attack you. They just refuse to get off the nest. So, I mean, if you want to roll a handle animal check to
Sure.
see how they behave, be my guest. Actually, no, definitely do that.
Yeah.
You are handling some animals here.
Oh boy.
Let's see how
That's an
hilariously
untrained
wrong
skill,
this
isn't it?
goes.
That requires training, huh? Yikes.
Handle animal require training. I think in like there's like
Yes, handle animal
weird
requires training.
instances you don't actually need to be trained in it, because you're not actually asking this thing to do anything. You're just trying to be delicate about it. But I guess in this instance too, I'd probably take a
Stealth?
sleight of hand.
That's a trained skill.
Sleight of hand is a trained skill. That's right. That one I do. That's right.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, we'll call it stealth. We'll call it stealth.
Stealth,
Stealth.
dexterity?
Raw stealth. Let's see what you can do.
Okay, stealth. Raw stealth. Well, let's see what we can do here.
Don't scare those chickens.
Oh, there we go. That's about
Ah,
par. That's a nat one
Beauty.
for a 4.
Well, I mean, the
Love
good news
it.
is these are hens, not roosters. They're not particularly angry. They take some like pecks at you, but like they don't really break skin. But you've made enemies of these chickens this day, and chickens have a long memory.
Fair enough. I question the last part, but fair enough.
You want to roll a knowledge nature check on that?
Yeah, actually, I can do that.
Second nat one. Let's go. Let's go.
That, I could... Yep, incoming. That would be an 18 for a 20 total, which is a +1 while we're on the ocean, so that's a 21. Do chickens have a long memory? Question
Not
mark?
particularly, no.
Yeah, okay, just checking. All right, got the egg. Gonna start heading back out. Got my eye over my shoulder for the chickens. Slip out through the door. Firmly close it behind me.
A still warm chicken egg.
Yeah, taking that straight to Quint. He's got the fancy feast going. He's gonna want a very fresh egg. That's perfect.
Oh man, just rip open a can of that
Singular
fancy
egg.
feast.
Hey, look what I got. Still warm.
You.
Oh, excellent. I mean, do you want me to cook it? Are you hungry? It doesn't really go with what I had prepared,
Oh,
but I mean that works.
You're the one whipping up a feast. If you want it, you got it. If not, all right, I'll put it on the counter. You can do what you like with that, or we can save it for later.
Well, I like the way you think. Thanks, I guess.
Single farm fresh egg. Why not? All right. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys down here discussing the egg, and I'm gonna hop up top
Yep.
here and see how Tazik, Morgan, and Iru are doing. Iru should be up on top deck too. That's me again, being a bad DM and leaving him where he shouldn't be. Oh man. Okay, there we go. I've used like 3 different programs this week that all have what's the word I'm looking for? Screen scroll tied to a different button. So I'm like cycling through all 3 trying to remember which one is is Forge. Because Blender uses mouse 3, Forge uses mouse 2, and what was the other one that I was using that used mouse 1? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, okay, Morgan, what are you up to?
Morgan's actually feeling in a pretty good mood after that fight, even though she got pretty banged up. But there's nothing like a fight to get her blood going.
Facts.
So she's just happily swabbing. She's kind of singing to herself, while also keeping an eye on going on around her. May I make a perception check?
For sure. What are you looking for?
Just anyone that might be looking suspicious or trying to hear if there's any sort of gossip going on.
All right. So you're just listening in on conversations. There isn't much going on. You see that Plug and Scourge, they're just kind of talking to each other. They don't really seem animated at all. They're just chatting. Probably just niceties or whatever badities. They're evil pirates. What do you know? But you do actually see little Jack there is talking with Officer Riaris Crine up top. And again, you can't really hear what they're saying, but you see that Jack is like pointing to his arm rather excitedly. And beyond that, Rosie Cuswell, actually the halfling who you're just kind of standing kitty corner to, she's taken note of your cheery tune and has actually begun humming along with you. With whatever it is that you're humming to.
I actually do have something prepared.
Oh.
So part of the lyrics, I'm not going to do the whole song. And the winds will cry, and many men will die, and all the waves will bow down to the Lorelei. And she just kind of, those seem to be the only two lyrics Morgan remembers from the song. So every so often when she's not humming, that's what she's singing.
Did you write that? Okay.
No.
All right.
Blackmore's Night for anyone interested.
Gotcha. I'll have to go to give that a listen. All right, cool. Sounds good. I dig it. She's just like whistling. If you, maybe she knows the lyrics. She might be singing along with you here and there, and getting a little annoyed that you only remember those first two lines, or however many lines of the song. But whatever. Company's company. Tazik, what are you up to, buddy?
Tazik's going to remember to unmute himself. And then Tazik is going to go back to the... okay, I'm back. Going to go back to coiling ropes and preparing the rigging for the storm that's to come.
Excellent. Since you are actively working on your duties here and you rolled an 8 on the last skill check I asked you to roll for this, could you roll another one,
Yes.
Profession Sailor, for me to see how well
Yes.
you're doing?
Just give me 1 second to get my screen.
Just going to point out you're standing on a deck you're not allowed to be on.
Yes, I will move in 2 seconds.
Excellent. All right, so with your 8 earlier and your 10 today, you stumble along, bumble, get these more. They're more piled neatly-ish than they were before, but they're not exactly well done. And Scourge definitely does take note of your slacking today, your lackluster work.
Distracted by
That's
my
right.
rats.
Just thinking about you two. Oh, we never settled on a name for them. Forgot to do that poll, my
Nope.
dear. I'm a terrible DM. But actually, if I remember correctly, I think it was your names caught the most reacts. But I'll set up the poll for this
So-
week, and we'll see where they go. For now, we'll just
Perfect.
call them Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Yeah, that worked.
Alrighty. Was there anything else you wanted to do? Are you just keeping your head down? Working?
Keeping my head down, working. Maybe introducing myself to this guy here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
We have not yet met this
by
one.
all means, say hello.
I walk up to him and go, how's it going? Name's Tazik.
Yeah, you sticking your hand out to him? You just like shrugging? What's going on here? How are you presenting yourself?
I'm just shrugging at him.
Okay. He looks at you, turns his lip up at you, and spits on the deck. Clean that up, swab. And you see he's like chewing on something pretty big in his mouth.
I look at him and go, would, but I'm not a swab. I'm a rigger. I'll get the swab to do it. And I look over at Eero and wave him over here.
Eero just kind of like nods his head and like salutes and just kind of like starts swabbing his
Just
way over there.
aggressively
As he kind of
swabbing.
waddles.
Okay.
Every single step Eero takes, he swabs right in front
I'm
of
glad
him.
somebody said that because I was definitely imagining Eero just like walking over there like he's curling. All right.
Turns out Eero's just like the best curler in the world.
Too bad ice wasn't invented yet. All right, so you get to where Tazik has called you over to, and you see just like this big glob of like thick red disgustingness sitting on the deck. You can tell by the stains on the mast and the floor near where his post is that this is a regular occurrence.
Fan of the
I
true weed, are
kind
you?
of like I take my mop and just kind of like slap it like right on the ground, and just vigorously mop it.
Could you roll profession sailor for me?
Well, this can only go well.
I mean, I think you have the best bonus, so.
14. That is an 8 that
All right,
turns into
natural
a
8 for 14. Yeah, you swab that up, no problem, buddy. You're good.
Then Eero just kind of starts like walking backwards and continues swabbing where he was where he was.
Well,
walking.
as you finished mopping up that 1 5-foot square, he definitely takes the time to put another glob slightly to the left of you. And he smirks at you as he watches you clean.
Keep cleaning, and I'm just kind of like staring at him back as I'm just kind of like cleaning. Just no words coming out of my mouth. I'm just keep cleaning it.
What's your name, friend?
He just like sits there chewing. He's like, "I don't got one. It'll work."
Alrighty then. I just go back to my coiling.
Love it. All right. Well, keep up the good coiling. Cool. Okay. So while you're doing that, he hasn't really said much to you. Eero, what are you doing, buddy? You swabbing? Continuing to swab?
Yeah, I'm walking around the deck, just kind of slowly swabbing everything. I'm just doing my
Doing your
duties.
duties?
Going to finish swabbing the top deck, and we'll just go down to the
Now,
bottom
here's
deck
the
and
thing
swab
about
there.
swabbing. You're never done. You just keep going, man. You swab forever. But yeah, anyway, okay, you're swabbing away. You're not going to talk to anybody, do anything, try to, I don't know, pick a fight. No, don't actually. It'll only end poorly for you. But
I kind of like swab my way back
That's a
towards this
hot
like
boxing.
weird this mysterious black-haired woman that we still don't have a name for. And I'm kind of
Yep.
This one.
Yes,
this
that
glass
yep,
right
yep,
here.
I see the one.
And it's just like I kind of like walk up to it. It's like, howdy, ma'am. How you doing this mighty fine day?
How did you become a Texan?
I don't know. That just kind of came out. I tried reverting back to a cowboy voice. Not cowboy. Oh, yep. You know what? Today's
All
just
right,
that day.
cool. So today, Eero has let his cowboy alt out.
Yep.
Eero, are you from Pies Inn as well?
Sorry, that's Alabama.
Eero's been all around the world. He's a man of many accents.
Cue banjo music.
Wayne. Anyway. Ooh, that's a literally reference that I think only Agnes would get. Okay, so you're going over to this unnamed lady who has done nothing but stare daggers at you and your friends since the moment you arrived on this ship. or woke up on this ship, I should say. How do you greet her? Oh yeah, that's right. You went to full texting on her. She.
Yep.
Could you roll diplomacy for me, please?
Oh God.
Huh? Well,
17.
unaccustomed to such broad gestures, she cracks a very sly smile at you. She says, in a very quiet voice, barely above a whisper. Like, you really gotta, like, lean in there to hear her a bit. Says, "You can call me Sly."
It's a pleasure to meet you. As like Iru kind of like responds like quietly back.
Man, fucking 18. Look at you, smooth talker. She says, in no uncertain terms, she goes, "What do you want?"
I'm just out here doing my dues as a swab. I was going to offer my assistance, see if you needed anything done.
She's like, I got this. Thank you, though. And she just kind of like looks
Well,
you up
if
and
you
down
ever
a
need-
little.
If you ever need a hand, just call me out and I'll do it.
What are you?
Well, I am an Ifrit. I'm a man born of fire.
Boring. And she just goes back to her swabbing.
Understandable. I also go back to my swabbing.
I mean, you got her name, which is what you were going for here, I guess, so. That's the important bit.
Yep.
Even though she finds your born of fireness uninteresting.
I mean, I find it
Well, she
pretty
does it,
interesting. It's rough out here
It's
in
hard
these
out here
woods.
for a player. Alright, well, let's see. You got Stinky Fat Man, of which everyone takes a wide berth.
Yeah, I'm not getting within 10 feet of him. I have that nice square that I'm going to
Gotcha.
stay from.
He might be nice.
I will mention that this guy was part of the toughs that wrangled you up onto deck on your first day here.
He's probably not nice.
The ears learned a very valuable lesson. Anyone with a bandana on, don't fuck with them.
Yeah, these two guards were arbitrarily chosen because they were wearing bandanas. I'm joking. Okay, so that's Iru's. Let's go. Let's see. Anyone else on the main deck want to do anything really quick before I take us back down to the basement?
I think I'm good.
Alrighty. Morgan? Perfect.
Nope,
All right.
all good.
Well, Quintus, Eldon, what are you guys up to in the galley?
I think Quint kind of looks back over at Eldon and says, "Well, if I have you back in here, do you mind being lookout for maybe 3-4 minutes? I got this pot over here. It's got the water pretty piping hot, and I think while the galley here is empty, I should be able to get a real quick bath in. I just don't want the officers to walk in. It'll be hard to explain, you know."
Bathing in the galley? Ooh.
Do what you gotta do, my friend.
Excellent.
Do what you
I
gotta
got a
do, my
little
friend.
I got some excess soap if you want. The water will be hot. I don't know if you'll fit in this tiny little pot though. That's the issue. And as he says that, Quint, sure enough, like he takes this small pot and he kind of drags it off of the like cast iron wood burning stove, like drags it into the corner and surrounds it with some wheat. And he starts taking his shirt off, dishes some nice soap out of his left pocket. And he's like, "I've had the stench of like off meat on my clothes for some time now, and I really need to sort this out. Plus, I've got a very important, very, very important appointment tonight. Can't miss it."
Of course, naturally. Do you want me to take a look at your clothes? Are they in kind of disrepair, a little filthy
Yeah, I mean,
themselves? I can clean them up for you.
I've got a little bit of an overcoat that's been pretty tattered near the end. That's an intentional aesthetic choice. You can leave that alone. But I mean, if you got the capabilities to clean up my undergarments, by all means, please do.
cleanliness is good for longevity around a
Oh.
place like this. So I'll cast prestidigitation and kind of get a little kind of waving hand gesture and kind of sift all the dirt off of everything
It's
but the
amazing.
overcoat, basically.
I don't suppose you can use that like a towel, dry me off real quick, because just figured I'd have to discreetly walk on deck a little damp and let the sun dry me
Oh
off.
dear.
You know what? Well, only one way to
Well.
find out, I suppose. But we'll give that a go. In the meantime, I'm gonna kind of look down and recognize. Oh god, my stuff's a mess too, and just kind of clean up a little
All
bit.
right,
And
stay on lookout. I'm naked now, and then you hear a plop as he jumps
Yep.
in this tiny little pot.
you got it. Just kind of hanging out by the door, just cleaning counters and fiddling, looking busy because I could kind of see Grok
glance
across the hall.
the hall, and Grok is like, kind of like this on the edge of her table. And she's like, "So what's going on?"
Oh, nothing. Just busy, working hard.
I have something here for Quint. Is he available to come see me?
No, not at the moment. He's up to his elbows in prepping the big meal for tonight. He's on a bit of a roll today. I don't want to interrupt him. Is it something I can pass along?
Something a little more personable.
Understood. I will let him. I will send him over as soon as he's
I
available.
can come see him. And she opens like the door and
Like I said, he's on a roll. He's doing great right now. Let's not interrupt him. He's on a roll. It's going to be a great feast tonight. I think he's really on a roll. He just kind of seems to be in some kind of zone. Don't want to mess up his focus here.
diplomacy or no, bluff maybe. I think this is a bluff.
Bluff?
This
Bluff?
is probably a
hard
bluff.
Yeah, this is a hard bluff. Okay, don't fail me now. Come on.
Whew.
That is a 4.
4 for a 12.
For a
Oh my
12.
goodness. Okay, I'm actually gonna have to see. Last time I think wasn't it a 12 that convinced?
Yep.
Plug.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure Grok is. Yes, I do have her character sheet filled out, so this is gonna be much easier. Let's see, where is? Oh, shut the front door.
I'm changing
Don't
my
do
dice
this.
color after tonight. Change my dice up.
All right, let's see what happens. No, let's make this public. Let everyone see what goes on here.
Ooh.
Oh no. Oh, dale.
Oh.
Praise.
Oh my
Praise.
god.
That was a natural 9 for a 10. Grok pauses a little and she says, "Well, I wouldn't want him to mess up tonight's meal then. Perhaps later." And she just
Hey, so I'll let him know I let him know you were looking for him.
Just
I'm gonna
kinda,
send him
like,
right over.
steps by, and you swear you catch like the slightest hint of a blush on her like pale green cheeks as she closes the top door.
Oh. You heard that, right?
What? Sir, I got something in my ear. Give me a few seconds here. I'm pretty much done. And he starts like climbing out of the pot. He's like, I don't suppose you figured out the whole drying out situation. As he starts like putting on.
Let's figure it out and just kind of vegetation can dry stuff off. I'm pretty sure it can. It's not explicit in the text, but it's kind of on
yeah, I'd say
par
that's-
for kind of basic magic tricks, drying things and wetting things.
Yeah, I'd allow it. Why not? It can clean things. It can dry things.
It can warm things, so I guess drying's not
Yeah.
like far off. It's like
Yeah.
a light breeze, really. So I'll kind of wave my hands to kind of help Quint kind of shake some of the water off, and then go close the door. So that was Grok. She's looking for you.
Oh,
That she had something very personal to give to you.
oh, she probably just really wants that wine. I told her I'd bring it over. I keep getting busy.
Yes, the wine. Right, you mentioned that before. Do you want to drag that over right now?
I mean, We probably should. You know what? Yeah, let's do that right now. In a
Emphasis on drag, 8 strength.
second. Yes. Oh
Wait.
man, that's spectacular. I'm bone dry. I was bathing like 30 seconds ago. This is remarkable.
It's a great trick. Great party trick.
Indeed. All right. Well, and he starts like looking over the casks and is like, I mean, most of these are written in common. Yeah, hopefully this is the one she wants. He'll grab whichever one he thinks is the one she wanted.
By the way, did you want to put your clothes back on, or?
Oh yeah, I'm just in my underbreeches. My apologies.
Listen, whatever you want. Listen, she said it was personal, so if you want to go, do what you got to do. But
I should probably get a
they're
shirt
all nice
on.
and clean over there. If you want to do,
Oh, this is great. Oh my goodness. You know how many times I have stopped on the road to do a real quick bath and then I have to wait a few extra hours for my clothes to dry out. Most of the time I don't even bother. This is a marvel. All right. Okay, let's move this. He gets his clothes on.
it was I believe you said before, it was some kind of fancy wine, right? It come from some faraway place.
Yeah, my
If
memory's not too.
I'm remember.
good.
You know what? I'll give a hero point to anyone who can tell.
Numenor, I think.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm playing.
You're role playing.
I mean, I could tell you,
Okay.
but I'm on the top
Because
deck.
he didn't actually tell the rest of us what kind of wine it was. He was the only one who actually
Oh, straight
knew.
facts. Straight facts, man. Spitting facts here. All right, Susan, you already got
Yeah.
one today. I'm not giving you another one.
Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, I said Numenor, which I'm pretty sure is
It's
Middle
Middle-earth.
I believe it was a
Close enough.
Chilean.
Honestly, close enough.
Oh man,
Oh no. I mean, you're on the ocean, so that'd be the place.
Numeria.
There it is.
Numeria,
That's it. You
right?
got it.
Yeah, Numeria. Yeah, it was Numeria.
all right, it's a Numerian wine.
Right. All right. So let's scan these casks, figure out which one this
All
is.
right.
Yeah.
Well, there's most of them are written in common. There are a couple that are written in not common, like local dialects from various regions. So, I don't suppose you guys happen to speak the language that I can't remember what it is. I'm gonna call it Numerian, even though that's not what it's called. Chelid?
Chelid?
Chelid? That sounds right.
Chelid?
Might be killed.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh,
It's
no.
like the
Hallet.
barbarian language. Is Chelid?
Hallet. That's
Hallet. That's the one.
Mhm.
Remember that. Okay. Yes. Nope. Not a
Not
chance.
a chance. None of you speak this
Nope.
particular dialect from the
Nope.
opposite side of the continent.
Intelligence check to try to discern any that we might be
I
able
think
to
this is
rule
one of
out.
those, like,
I guess.
linguistics would be the one to use here.
Yeah,
That's a
that's a
train
train skill.
Okay, hold on. Let me
I'm on a roll today.
adjust the DC here a little bit, and sure, intelligence check.
By the princess.
What could go wrong?
All right,
Oh, that's not bad.
17
That's a
for an
17 for an
18.
18.
and a 19 for a 20.
Oh.
Okay, both of you guys managed to
Let's go.
put your heads together, and with a, I mean, I'll take it. You guys do manage to bring it down to, let's see. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta go over the inventory that we have here. Fuck. Okay, yeah. There's one barrel there that would, that's even like remotely from the same area. So, yeah. So you're down to 2 barrels. One of them is filled with wine, and the other one's filled with rum.
Quint will kind of point out the rum one and be like, well, this could come in handy later, but yeah, let's take this wine over. And
All
he'll
right.
attempt to try to budge it out so he can roll it.
It's not a whole barrel though. This is like a cask or something, right? This was a smaller.
Let me get it. I have the exact. I gotta remember what the name is here. I believe what you guys have in your hands is not a cask. It's a bit bigger than that. If this handy dandy. Oh no, yeah, it's a quarter cask. So there you go. Quarter cask is 125 liters.
Yep, that's pretty heavy.
About 2 feet tall and about like 16 inches
Yeah,
wide.
that sounds
I think.
about right.
Oh.
I think between the two of you can get it out there.
We can get that rolling.
Getting it to
no
stop
problem.
is the trick.
Oh, there's a door. Rolling it to the door, and knock and delivery at the
All
same
right.
time.
Well, I'm gonna call this. I gotta get a strength check from each of you, followed by a dexterity check from one of you, whoever's directing it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, Quint, I feel like he would be trying to help out more than anything else, so he'd be giving the help action.
that
It's
strength
probably gonna
damage
fail
do?
horribly.
A strength drain.
The strength damage doesn't apply
Let's
yet.
go.
Natural 20. Let's go. Let's go. That is a natural 20 for a 19 strength.
Natty 20.
That is a natural 1 for -1 for Quint.
Oh no.
Gorgeous,
Okay, so
gorgeous.
no aid.
Oh.
I'm on my own here.
They cancel each other out.
You guys rolled exactly
You
average.
still.
Yeah.
It's true.
Look
at
okay.
numbers.
man.
Oh,
It's like the
dale.
second time that's happened too, isn't it? I feel like last week somebody rolled a 20 followed by 1.
Morgan
Yeah,
did that by
that's right.
herself last time. Yeah,
That's
Morgan
right.
went 20 into a 1. All right,
Guess
we're
we're
rolling. Let's go.
Quint is happy to provide the dex check to point things out, unless Eldon's feeling it. Or unless the natural 1 means.
No, that was a
me.
help. You're not getting your toes have not been crushed by the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
That's right.
rolled your 1 out.
Yeah,
now you can get
if I'm the strength pushing the barrel down, you're the one steering. So you go for it. You try
Alright, that
to
was just-
direct it and stop it at the door.
This is just a
Just
straight,
straight
dex
dex.
check. All right. Then, you know what? I feel Quint would probably say a little prayer under his breath and give himself guidance, if you'd be so kind. And here comes the minus. Here comes
Oh,
the
there it
91.
is. Okay.
Ooh, it's a
That's
15
respectable.
or an
I dig it.
18.
All right, you direct it, no problem. It rolls across the hall and just like slams into Grok's door.
Smash. Special delivery. Knock, knock.
She opens up the door and she takes a look down and says, "Is this the wine?"
Yeah, I would have brought it to you earlier, but I've been aging it for you. That's a joke. It's the Numerian wine. Once you take it out of its original iron container, it stops aging. It's a strange prospect of it.
The rust gives it an excellent tang. And she
That
just
it
like
does.
reaches down from her like half door and just effortlessly picks up this thing and puts it like on her shoulder. She says, "What can I get for you?"
Well, I mean, I was thinking maybe we can keep this arrangement fast and loose. There's nothing I can't think of that I can't necessarily acquire on my own for now. So maybe at some point I'll drop by and let you know what I'm looking for.
"I'll be waiting." And she just like, yeah, there's just like a satisfying like thump as the barrel like lands at her feet beside her.
Sounds excellent. Well, I best be going back above deck. I should probably go meet some of the other crew members. Could you remind me? You sleep just down the hall, right? You share a place with Fish
That's
Guts
right.
Croup. Sounds good. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
And she just kind of shrugs and she stops and thinks for a second about like what time it is, and you see her like eyes widen as she realizes like she must be late for something or whatever, because she locks the door and just like scurries off.
As soon as she's out of sight, Quint looks at Eldon and says, "I'm in trouble tonight."
Oh, come on. You'll be fine. She just wants to trade. She's gonna make it up to you. You know, you did her a favor.
Yep, I'm sure. It's not an issue whatsoever. In fact, the Church of Shaylin, while they don't necessarily promote the more erotic aspects of mutual experience, there are a plethora of other gods that do enjoy these things such as Callistria, and I'm sure I could do my due diligence in that regard.
There you go. Good man. Now,
Yeah.
she's gone. I'm a little curious about the caliber of that lock she's got on the door.
I am
Just in
too.
case we were looking to obtain any of our effects.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, let's dust off that door a little bit, shall we? And Quint grabs some like dried wheat stalks and starts like whipping the corners of the ship like he's trying to clear out cobwebs. And he's gonna go right beside Eldon and take a closer look at the lock on the door. If
There is
a
very
visible
much a
lock.
visible lock. It is built into the door. It's one of the few actual like lockable doors you've seen on the ship. Most of them have just been like jury rigged with a clasp and a lock, like a padlock. But yeah, by all means, let's see. I don't know, perception, knowledge, engineering.
I'll give you a perception. Oh yeah, it's a natty 3
for 3
for 3
with guidance. So
with
4?
guidance.
Oh, that's right.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Normally
Okay,
it's
too.
2.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
this
is very
certainly
much
a
a door. Oh, that is locked. You can say with certainty that the door has a lock on it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely locked. I'll need my locksmithing tools.
When Eldon checks the lock and it's not locked.
Rattle the door handle just to double check.
It
Is it locked?
You did see Grok lock the door behind her.
Yeah. I was gonna say, pretty sure we saw her use the key, but it's worth a check. Maybe the lock's broken and it's all for show. I'll give the door seeing Quint kind of looking there a little puzzled, looking a little confused at this door, like he doesn't know where to start. I'll kind of give it a once over and see if I can see anything particularly interesting about it. That's a 9 for a 9.
9 for a 9. All right. Well, you can agree with Quintus that this is it's a locked door.
It's a locked door. Yep. All right. Fair enough. We'll carry on.
Brilliant. Ooh.
We feel really confident too. We're like, yeah, that's really locked.
Does anyone else see
100% a lock.
Quintus's
Yeah.
nameplate twice? Or is that just me? Oh no, never mind. That was
not
your
for me.
cursor. That was your cursor.
It was the cursor. It was the cursor underneath it.
I got bamboozled. I was like, I swear I wasn't like this earlier. All right, we're good. Okay. So yeah, it's a locked door.
Kind of gesture back into the galley, and I'll. So is there anything that we need to like keep an eye on, or do we need anything else for what you're working on? Need any extra proteins or anything like that? What are you looking for?
Like just in general, keep an eye out for. Yeah, I mean, protein definitely a big plus. Honestly, right now I'm feeling pretty well situated, even with just scraps they have in this kitchen. I feel like I just really want to meet more people. You know what I mean? Like I've met a couple of people, and they seem to like me pretty well. So that bodes well. Not a lot of people like me, to be honest. So that bodes pretty well. But yeah, I feel like I just want to head up top. I wish. Oh, I mean, as he sees whomever it is, but Mr. Plug walk by, he starts aggressively like whacking the corners of the what do you call them? The walls, like he's trying to dust with his dried wheat stalks.
Well, I think I'm gonna leave you guys hanging for a quick second here, and check in with our friends up top. I wonder what Mr. Plug could want with the ship's cooking crew. All right, so Tazik, what are you doing up to? What are you up to, buddy?
It's supposed to be there. No, I think I'm gonna climb up to the crow's nest and try to see if I can spot how far the storm is away from us.
All right, so cool. Sounds good. Well, I guess you'll climb up to the top because you're taking your time, right? You're not rushing up there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna see anybody have to do an epic swan dive off the crow's nest again.
Tazit can't make that swan dive. He's just dead if he does.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, you get up to the top, and I'm going to ask for the storm. You can see it, no problem. So I'm not gonna make you roll perception for it. I will make you roll. Unfortunately, knowledge weather patterns isn't an option here. So we'll knowledge. I'll take a knowledge nature or a profession sailor.
Get a better bonus for knowledge.
Whoo! That you do. Is that a 9 for a 17?
It's a 9 for a 17.
Love to see it. All right. Well, judging by the direction of the storm, the direction of the ship, all that jazz. The good news is you're gonna work dry. The bad news is what would end your day early only comes after your night day would already end. So you're expecting the rain sometime in the early-ish evening, probably shortly after sunset.
And how rough does it look?
It's a biggin.
Fair enough.
Oh, that does actually remind me. Scourge. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. So I meant to do this earlier and then I forgot, so that's my bad. Scourge knows that the storm is coming because he can see the scourge, so he see the storm. So he does order everyone to, I believe the piratey nautical term is batten down the hatches in preparation for tonight's storm.
Yarr.
Yarr. So he screams at everyone, and you can see that a bunch of people are like rustling here and there, tying down ropes, making sure things are secured, setting up tieway lines in case people need to work during the deluge. Probably won't happen, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, you see people scuttling around doing that, but for with your 17 to your knowledge nature, you do know that the rain is only going to come sometime in the late evening, early nightfall.
Perfect. I climb back down from the crow's nest.
Excellent. Is there anything else you would like to do, or shall I take this to... I think I'm going to throw Morgan on deck next.
I think I will wait until Quint comes on deck to do anything
All right.
else.
Sounds good. Okay. For Quint. Morgan, what are you up to?
Morgan's just been swabbing along, humming to herself.
All right.
And she notices this lady she hasn't approached yet.
So you do recognize her rather immediately as the woman who is constantly humming to herself and walking around the deck barefoot at all times. You've never seen this woman put on shoes even for a second.
Okay. She approaches her, and I'm not sure if we've met or not. The name's Morgan.
She says... she says rather like, she says, no, don't believe we have met. A little bit of a sing-song to her voice.
Must be cold with no shoes there.
If Besma intended us to wear shoes on the ship, then the ship would come with shoes. And she looks at you as if you're stupid for not
Fair
realizing that. And
Fair
she
enough.
says, "You can call me. My name is Sam's, but people just call me Barefoot, for obvious reasons." And she like wiggles her toes.
Pleasure meeting you then.
The pleasure's mine, I'm sure. So, what brings you to the Wormwood? What brought you to this cursed hellhole?
Oh, a lot to drink and not enough restraint.
Ooh, a lot to drink and not a lot restraint. That's how most people find themselves here. It's unfortunate, but she brings you in. She says, "Do you want off the ship?"
Morgan sort of looks at her almost questioningly.
Can you roll a sense motive for me?
I was just about to ask.
What,
And that is a
3, 4,
Three.
5. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, no
All right, with
worries.
your 3, 4, 5, you can tell that there's she's genuinely interested in what you have to say.
Perhaps.
Well, what if I told you I can get you off the ship? And she like looks around, making sure that there's like nobody within earshot to hear what she's saying to you.
But yeah, Morgan's kind of wary. She's not too certain what to think of it, what's being said. And she kind of leans in, and perhaps when the moment's right, I may take you up on said offer.
She looks at you and she says, "No, it's now or never. Happens tonight during the storm."
How many?
A few. And honest, I couldn't tell you how many. Less likely for us to be captured if we knew who all was coming.
I may need to take you up on that offer then. But there's just a few things I need to take care of before then.
Right, well, if you're coming, meet us in the bilges at midnight, yeah?
Savvy.
Excellent. She winks at you and goes back to like whistling off tune and like twirling around and like dancing as she like mops as she swabs the deck. And actually, with your standing there, could you roll perception for me, please? With your 14, you do notice that that storm on the horizon is probably something to be worried about. So you probably take you think to yourself you probably should take heed and make sure everything on deck is secure before the storm arrives tonight.
Okay.
All right, and Iru, unless there's anything else you'd like to do. Sorry, Morgan. No, you're good. All right, Iru, what are you up to, buddy?
So once the orders came out of like getting the deck ready, Iru just kind of like put his mop and bucket like off to the side and started like going around helping prep things for the storm. Iru's been through one too many storms, so he wants to make sure that this one goes as smoothly as possible.
Excellent. Would you care to roll I'd take a proficient sailor or dexterity?
You a profession sailor?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 4
Well,
that becomes a
with
10.
your 10, you are experienced in storms and whatnot, so you do use that to your advantage as you secure things a little tighter than what would normally be considered okay. But it'll be your ass if the captain loses any of his cargo. So you get to work pretty hard. Is there anything else you'd like to do in the midst of the work?
Iru kind of just like wants to go below deck and make sure stuff down there is ready and prepared.
Deck. No problem. Oh, and as you are walking down the stairs, you do pass Grok on her way up. And she is in a hurry. And Tazik, you're the only one Or actually, no, Morgan, you're in a good spot to see her too. You're above her, so if both of you guys, actually, you just rolled a 14 for me, so I'm gonna keep that roll if that's all right with you, Agnes. And Tazza, could you take a care to roll for a perception for me to see if you notice what Grok is up to in the middle of your work?
Roger, Roger. If it loads up.
Ooh, don't do that. All right, with your 17, you do notice that Grok kind of like hurry up from downstairs and step into the officer's quarters after nodding to the fat man who guards it, the still unnamed fat man. But yeah, no, she doesn't leave anything behind or whatnot. You just kind of happen to glance up at the right time to see it happen. Which brings us to Iru, who you're making sure everything is secure down here. Kipper kind of like calls you over, sees what you're doing, and calls for your help with securing the cannons. And so what she's having you do is close the so there's a specific word for them. I can't remember what it is, but you're basically closing the doors over the portholes that the cannons shoot out of.
Yeah, that is
Hatches.
exactly what I was
Hatches,
like
that's
coming
it.
down here to.
The hatches
to
that you must
help
batten
with.
down.
I was like,
Yeah.
that is like
Yeah.
exactly what I was coming down here to help
gun
with. Was
port.
like to help with the cannons because there was like 10 cannons and one man trying to get all the cannons prepared would have been hard. So I was coming down here to offer my assistance.
All right, so you're doing that. You got your 10 with your profession sailor. Perfect. You're good at following orders. With your 10, he's not too impressed with your skills, but you're getting the job done, so you do see him like nod appreciatively to your help. And that brings us over to the boys who have been quaking in their boots for the last 10 or so minutes. Yeah, Eldon, Quintus, I'm just going to say we'll take a quick break after you guys are done this little interaction, see how this handles, and then we'll take a quick 10-minute, 15-minute. What did we do last week? 15? Well,
Can't
that
remember.
sounds
I think it
I
was.
think.
I think it was advertised to 10 as
all
10
right.
minutes.
Well, this time
and
we're going
took
to advertise
15.
it as 15, and maybe it'll be 10. I think that's fair.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, Mr. Plug comes down. He looks at you and says, "Where's Croup?"
Oh, well, last time I checked, he was sleeping. But that was early this
Inexcusable.
morning.
Bring him on the ship to guard the galley, and he isn't even here to do it. No bother. I will take his place. And he stares at you guys.
But of course, Mr. Plug, anything you'd like. Though Eldon has been really stepping up as kitchen
If
staff.
I wanted
here.
your opinion, I would ask for it, Halfman.
Yep, understood.
Why is it the ship's chef in the hallway and not in the galley when he should be cooking? Care to explain?
Oh, well, I could, but I think it would be nicer if I just let you see. And then Quint kind of gestures and then walks into the galley. And as he does, he points out the bounty of items that he has already finished and pretty much ready to be served. And he points to two smaller pots to the side, and he says, "In here, this is what I'm going to be finishing things with. So the rest of the dishes they can come to room temperature while I'm going to just kind of drizzle this on top." I have to admit, I'm a little proud.
How's your improv game?
My improv,
Abysmal,
abysmal,
okay.
garbage.
All right. Well, just what are the quick spark notes here? What is it you've had prepared here? I heard something about boiled tubers and whatnot. So what
Sure.
else you got here?
Okay, so let's see. So Quint didn't have time to turn the rats into anything, so he's dry aging those for later on.
Excuse me.
he did have some essentially some sharks, some very chunky shark pieces that he's turned into a bit of a stew. Now that stew he's reduced down quite a bit, and he used some of the red wine in order to make it a little bit richer and turn it into almost like a sauce that he's going to ladle over top of a whole bunch of, as gross as it sounds, some porridge. I mean, we're traveling the seas, so he has some like large pieces of porridge. I would imagine he's taken all of the potatoes and he sliced them into thin slices, and he spent a little bit of time to let those marinate with some of the spices that he was able to find. And so the plan is to have these thin potatoes, this kind of savory, almost spicy potato, with a savory porridge on top of that, and then a drizzle of this kind of red wine reduced shark stew on top of that. And that's the first course. The second course, he's got a lot of things going on. I would imagine he probably, to the side, he has a little bit of chopped, the equivalent of cucumber that maybe he found that was going to go bad in a few days. So he's chopped that up. He's added a little bit of red wine, almost like a pasca, like a he's turned that into a little bit of a pickled dish, and the idea is he's going to mix a little bit of the excess pickled juice into, and a little bit of wine into some generic water, and that's going to be kind of like an electrolyte addition. That's his cook 30 on a pirate ship. The best I can come up with.
Plug looks at you up and down and sees the extravagance that you have laid before in this tiny, dingy little kitchen with what little ingredients and variety you have. And you do see the hint of a smirk. You can tell this man is at least partially impressed. And you feel a little bit of a sense of joy, of accomplishment in you for that. And that is quickly soured by the backhand that you receive across your face.
Yep.
How much food have you wasted?
Oh, well.
We are on a ship, need I remind you? Limited resources, limited. And you sit here and you make a multiple course meal?
I think Quint kind of puts a hand up to his lip, his fat lip, and he kind of wipes some of the blood off, and he kind of looks at his fingers, and he looks up at Mr. Plug, and he says, "A message received entirely. I'll be sure to make sure the rest of the sailors are living on meager resources, if that's what you'd prefer. That's not an issue whatsoever, Mr. Plug. Whatever you say, I'll do for you."
He takes a quick stock with how much food is cooked here. He says, 2 meals, half rations for 4 days to make up for it. And from here on out,
Understood.
I am the one who will watch you work.
I see. That'll be no problem whatsoever, Mr. Plug. Please, take your time. Watch everything I do. I'd love it.
Oh.
And as he says that, he does kind of maintain a stare to Mr. Plug. And there's a strange emptiness to his eyes as he says these words.
Man, me as the DM, I feel bad for this.
This is an authentic pirate experience.
Authenticity, man. That's what I'm after here. And Plug just kind of like goes and he stands like and like leans up against the corner and he just stares daggers at you.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic meal you've prepped out, but I don't feel like I got the point across. It's the whole ship is on half rations for the next 4 days.
Gotcha.
Not just you. If it was just you, you'd be on half rations for the next several months
years.
at least. Yeah.
Understood, Mr. Plug.
Eldon, how do you feel about this?
Not a problem.
Oh boy. Ellen's gonna stand at the door going, well, I don't think I need to be in there. I'll just poke my head and go, Master Plug, would you prefer I try to rouse Fish Guts? You might have word with him.
He just stares at you and like raises his eyebrow.
Aye, sir. Just zoom off towards group's room.
All right. Yeah, I guess the. All right. Well, I mean, doors unlocked. You left it unlocked. Doors closed. Chickens are going wild in there. Well, I guess last time you saw them, they're all pretty chill. But I think what time is it? 8:17. Let's call it here for our break and say we'll be back at 8:30-ish. For a full 15 minutes, we'll be back at 8:32. But, you know, whatever. 8:30-ish. We'll be back. Ooh, all right, and we're back. And so we got Quintus being watched like a hawk by Mr. Plug, perhaps for the foreseeable future. We'll see what Eldon here can produce as he goes and attempts to wake up the actual cook on the ship, Fish Guts. Take it away, buddy. What are you up to?
We want to know if they're just like the others. Carefully open the door in case the chickens are active. Sneak in, shut the door behind me.
You feel...
presume Krupp is still tapped.
Oh, Buddy's tapped out, yeah, for sure. But you do notice that there's some definite... The air in here is a bit thicker than it was the last time you stepped in here. You can feel the eyes of the chickens just, like, on you at all times. They're just, like, staring you down.
Yeah, that's the part. Just kind of try not to pay any attention to the chicken. Just walk over to Matt, see if he responds.
All right, well, you give him a smacker. What are you up to? How are you treating him?
I'm gonna kind of grab him by the collar and just kind of give him a good shake and see if that makes him start.
All right, well, you give him the old shaken baby syndrome, and you do see him like react a little, like his arm moves, and he like rubs his eyes, and like you see the whites of his eyes for half a second, and he just like lets out a super foul burp, and just like washes over you, just reeks of wine and beer and sewage.
Jesus, Krupp. Well, that was wonderful. Krupp, you alive?
Yeah, that bucket. And he like gestures to a corner where there's like a very disgusting, layered, thick bucket of. Well, you're sure you can guess what this bucket's been used for in the past.
Oh, jeez. Hustle it over to him.
All right, and he just like takes the bucket from you and just like just unleashes hell into it. And like you know what? That's a Constitution save. Something that we haven't gotten enough of on this. Not Constitution. What am I saying? Fortitude. Fortitude.
Oh yeah.
Fortitude.
I definitely thought Fortitude and said Constitution. Oh
Stinky.
dear.
Oh yeah. That's
Well, I'm gonna say you're
5
sickened
for
for the
6.
next 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, which one's worse, sickened or
Yeah.
nauseated? You're whatever the not worse one is. I think it's sickened. Nauseated is the one you definitely don't want to be.
Bad.
Yeah. So you're sickened.
Yeah. Sickened is
Mhm.
not good, but not terrible.
What was that? Just like a -1 on all your rolls or something, right? Is that how that went?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I figured.
It's like being impatient, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully those effects don't stack. Combat breaks out within the next 5 minutes, and you go last. Sometimes it just happens, you know?
No.
All right.
Kroop's up in his
Well,
own
like
combat over
Krupp
here.
sits up, and he's like, he definitely brought his head up from the bucket a little bit too soon, and there's he got some on his apron as it like drips out of his mouth through his like gaps in his missing teeth.
Oh, man.
And like you can see it just getting all over his apron and his white shirt, and the chickens don't really seem too perturbed by this. They're actually like pecking at some of the chunks. This is a little visceral, I'm sorry. Gotta make my players roll a fortitude save too, you know. Forget about the characters. Yeah, so he's up. He's like, what? What time is it? I've only been out for a couple hours. And he kind of like comes to. He's like, Alden. Oh, what are you doing in there? Who gave you the key?
Grok, because you're still sleeping. Afternoon.
About 3:00.
Yeah, it's late afternoon.
Oh hell! Gotta get dinner going. And he like stands up. And
I said, well, hold up. Before you head out, you might be interested to know. Good. Quint has dinner well in hand.
That's a good lad.
Bad news. Plug is in there
Oh,
supervising.
shit. Yeah. Oh, he made the gruel, right?
Jim,
The gruel's good.
you want me to clean before you go and address that?
Yeah, he looks down. And,
No, the grill.
the gruel's good. He made the gruel. Nothing else. Just the gruel. And the captain's food. The gruel, the captain's food. Nothing more.
Listen, Quint did a great job. I'll let you go and assess the situation. Plug seemed to have some kind of issue with something. I might have heard the word too much food. I was outside. I was kind of staying out of the way while he and Quint were
Oh, fucking hell.
discussed.
All right. Yeah, clean me up. I'm covered in my own sick. Give it to the chickens if you can. And the chickens all kind of like perk their heads up.
I stare dead at the chickens as I wave my hands, and all the dirt just sips away into nothingness off of Croup.
You see a pop-up on the corner of your screen. The chickens will remember that.
Give him the little
Reload your save, bro.
stop.
all right. And he like steps past you, and let me actually get rid of this sleep icon over him because this man is not in combat. Croup, you're not in combat. All these buttons up.
No, please no.
Crazy thing is, like, Croup's got the highest dexterity on the ship and improved initiative.
I was gonna say, if Eldon is the only one in combat, is he automatically at the bottom?
How does that work if you're in like a 1v1 because
Yeah.
you're both first and last? How does that?
I would probably
don't-
include the enemy roll.
No.
Include the enemy roll in that regard?
It does say last of your
Yeah,
allies,
so,
but
like-
if you're if it's the last of your allies, but if you're in a combat with one-on-one, I would probably say if I don't go first, then I probably get
Yeah,
beaten.
no, that sounds good. Okay, we'll keep that in the back pocket if and when that situation arises. And Croup just kind of like stops before he like turns the corner, and he gives himself a couple of good old smacks. You see him like clear his throat, and and he like looks at his hands, and he spits in them and rubs them down, getting them all nice and shiny, and wipes them on his fresh, clean apron, leaving some pretty greasy smears into it. He's like, that's better. As he steps in and says, Mr. Plug, how are you doing? It'd help if I actually had the character selected and moved properly. And Plug looks at him and says, Croup, you're late. And Croup says, no, nonsense. I was here this morning, you see, and had to go and take a quick nap there. I was up all night, prepping today's meal. And Plug just kind of steps closer. And he looks him in the eyes and he says, this git here said he's the one that made it. So what is it? Who made it? And Croup turns to him. No, Captain, let's be real here. Who's the better chef? This little halfling. And he, like, kind of kicks Quint with the back of his leg. Just kind of like,
Ugh.
Or yours truly, as he, like, burps. Says, and Plug kind of gestures to this multi-course meal. And like kind of throws Quint under the bus here and says, that little bastard said he done it. So what is it? He turns to Quint, expecting a reply.
Quint actually says, Mr. Plug, if you don't mind me saying, Fishgut's Croup did give me very specific instructions to create a porridge for the group. I figured I would take advantage of some of the excess items here, and I spruced it up a bit. Clearly, I guess I don't know how things are run here on the boat that you try to keep tip-top shape.
Gruel for the swabs. Food for the officers.
Yeah, truthfully, I can't say much for the general tardiness that Croup here is exhibiting, other than a bit of a rough night the previous day. But as far as the food selection, that was entirely my own. Now that we've had this conversation, Mr. Plug, you won't have to tell me again. I'll keep the food within reason. No ambition.
Diplomacy.
Yep. And this time he is not guidance because he wouldn't have had time to cast that. And you know what? I'm going to use one of my hero points to add a +8 to this.
All right. Used and gained and spent in the same session.
It's a natty 5 for a 17.
Ooh, all right, for a 17 to diplomacy.
Good value.
Oh dear. Okay, hold on. What's let me take a look here. Let me see what a 17 gets you. I'm not sold it's enough, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh shit. Okay, come on, Mr. Plug, what you got here? Sorry, let me just find Plug's character sheet because his charisma modifier matters for this role. So,
of course.
I can just do that. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Where the... See, because this book isn't organized as well as some of the later prints are. And so...
You've got like
the first
30 people on the ship. Feel free to take your time.
Oh, look at that. I actually had it open. I just have to like... Okay, perfect. I have like 3 different tabs of the Wormwood Mutiny open at a time. So I can be in different places.
I mean, you have to.
You're 17. For the second time, you guys have managed to like pull the wool over Mr. Plug's eyes with what amounts to mediocre rolls. So that the 8 definitely saved you with that. And Mr. Plug kind of stops. He says, "Tonight it'll be a flogging, and you're stills on half rations. You hear me?" He looks at Quintus.
Does he say this to Quint or... Yeah. I think for the first time, instead of a dead look that he gives to Mr. Plug, there's like a bit of a glare and then it disappears. And he says, "Very well, Mr. Plug. You won't have to tell me twice.
For your sake, you best hope I'm not. And you!" And he turns to Croup and he like gets right up in his face. "You miss one more goddamn ship and I'll be sure to serve you next." And he's like frothing at the mouth as he says that. And he like, "Eldon, I'm sorry, you're in the way, buddy." He just like throws you to the ground as he like stomps away. Yeah, and he's gone. So, in summary, Quint, you somehow, with your 17 to beat the DC of 15, you somehow managed to get only yourself on half rations, which in your particular case will be a bit rough. Good news is you work in the kitchen, though, so...
Yes.
And I think it's going to be in your boy's best interest for in the future to drag Croup out of bed. So,
I think Quintus would take this opportunity while he has fish guts in the room to be like, "So, I don't know why I did, but I just put my ass on the line for you. Now, I fully understand well, that's not true. I don't understand what you're going through, but I've been in a very similar situation. I'm going to need you to at least pay lip service to Plug if we want to make it through this. I made a very good meal tonight. I don't think I'm going to be doing that again for a little while. And that's okay. You know, if morale on the ship tanks, that just makes it worse for the officers. But Fish Guts, my recommendation is to maintain a semblance of holding yourself together. You hear me? Because I feel that in just a couple weeks' time, you'll have a little more room to breathe, if you catch what I'm saying. Now, I'm going to take the time to wake you up in the morning, but I need you to actually wake up. You don't have to work. I quite like the work I'm doing. I think I'm doing a good job. But at the very least, you're going to have to put on an act.
Croup looks at you. Would you roll diplomacy for me again, by the way? Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, yep, let me bring that up. And I could do either diplomacy or intimidate.
Okay. I mean, whatever you think is better. It's your character. What is? If you think he's going
Sure.
for an intimidate here, roll for an intimidate.
I think he is. They're the same for me.
Is
But
that
I
with the
feel
fact
intimidate.
that you're intimidating a creature larger than you, and intimidate gets a -4?
Oh, then you know what I just said? Let's pretend I didn't say that. This is a diplomacy.
Everybody gets one.
So it's a natty 1 for a 5.
As I'm saying,
What I get, I should have just
everybody
committed.
gets one. You rolled a 1.
Mhm,
Well. Ugh. First off, you don't threaten me in my kitchen. Secondly, the rest of it sounds good, but you watch your fucking tongue, or I'll cut it out and serve it to you. See, cannibalism is a bit of a recurring theme on this ship.
Yeah, that's fair. You're a bit bigger than me, but I'm still gonna wake you up.
Yeah, no, he agrees to the rest of it. That sounds good. Like, he's happy to just lounge around in here, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I've only been here for 2 days. I'm feeling a little ambitious.
And he says,
I'll rate myself
Yeah.
in.
it's not very often me and a crew member get into a bit of a kerfuffle like that. And, like, that was, like, literally the most minor thing. You guys just, like, exchanged words for, like, half a second. But, like, you know. And he reaches, at any excuse, I guess, this man, like, pulls out a nice bottle of wine. And he looks at it and says, no, rum. Nice bottle of rum. Yeah?
Look, I'm not gonna say no. If you want to crack that open, we're gonna
It's like, as
enjoy
soon as
it,
you said the
but,
word
like,
crack, it's like, he like, snapped the glass. Like, the neck
Yeah.
of the bottle's off, and he's, like, drinking from it.
Yeah, all right. Eldon, we might need your discreet assistance with removing some of these wine stains.
Rum.
Yeah,
Got
sorry, rum stains. And I mean, Quint wouldn't stop him. He'd be like, "Yeah, enjoy, but you better wake up
And
tomorrow."
now Grok, you guys got me doing it now. Croup looks
Yeah.
around the kitchen. He says, "You're forgetting something. What's missing here, Quint? You can figure it out." As he's like sipping his rum, staring at you in your like pale blue eyes.
Don't suppose it's a goblet for that there one, for that there brand. Oh my goodness, I can't speak.
Eldon, what's missing for tonight's service?
Looking behind him, go, Gruel, food? I think we're good.
You disappoint me. Where is the grog?
The grog. And yeah, where do we keep the grog there, Fish
Make
Guts Group?
the grog.
Well then, I think you have a point. I did not prepare the grog.
Eh,
I was a little
not a
busy.
problem. You've been walking hard. Eldon. And he looks at you and he throws like he just like whips a bottle of rum at you. Make the grog.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't roll a reflex or like something to catch that.
Can roll dexterity, I suppose. Come on. No. That ain't it. That's
You
a
do
4.
manage to place yourself in between the bottle and the wooden door behind you, but like you don't manage to catch it as a thing that just like
Yeah.
nails you in the chest. But good news is it didn't break.
Hey.
So Eldon, question for you, buddy. How do you make grog?
See, that was my next question, unfortunately. Kind of knowledge am I looking at right now?
Okay, profession sailor, or I would say knowledge local. I think would be an appropriate one.
I think I dropped connection. Say again.
Knowledge
what?
local or profession sailor.
Yeah, no, that ain't it. Croup.
Aye, lad.
Probably a stupid question. How does one make grog?
You see that bottle of rum, you Holden? As he like is drinking from like the broken glass bottle that he just... You take it and you stick it. You pour it all into a barrel of water.
Yeah.
And then you take this, and he like reaches down and just grabs like a whole bag of limes, just like a huge bag. Thing probably weighs as much as Quint does. And he just like one hand picks it up, and you squeeze, and you throw the skins into the barrel to help fend off the scurvy. Excellent.
Gotcha.
And he throws the bag of
Yes, sir.
limes at you.
Just kind of grab the bag of limes and it slams on the floor. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you know where the water's stored. You know what to do there. I'm not going to make you roll anything. It's so basic. I don't think there's any way you can mess it up. He turns to Quentin. Where the hell did you find that man don't know how to make no fucking grog?
I mean, truth be told, he just kind of showed up yesterday, but I'm not complaining.
You showed up yesterday, too. 2 days ago.
This is true. Yeah, well, we all appeared 2 days ago, and then Eldon just kind of appeared yesterday. It's great. To be fair, he was hanging around the previous day, too. I'm not complaining, though. He's been a great help. Did you know he can dry clothes without
You
a
ain't
towel?
here to kiss his ass.
Just, yeah, technically speaking, I'm here to kiss Mr. Plug's ass, as well as
Ain't
any
we
other
all?
officers, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. You got reamed out.
That happens from time to time. Oh, hey, take
Careful.
this, and he like pulls out like some rotten seafood. Give that to Owlbear. I don't think he got fed yesterday.
Oh, is this what you normally do? You just give the rotten offal to
I'm not giving
Owlbear?
him anything else.
Oh, I see. He prefers it this way, then I take it.
That he do. And gonna leave you
Okay.
there with your mission to Owlbear. Before I'm gonna check in with the rest of the party, see if there's anything they want to do before we go down to evening time. Or go into the night, let's say. So end of work, dinner's been served, everyone's happy. But Morgan, Tazak, Iru, anything you guys like to take care of?
I'm just gonna kind of like, well, I'm currently like still in the on the ground floor, in the basement. So if you could take me up to the
Whoop. Nope, that's the
surface.
wrong screen. I have 2 instances of this running, and it's so hard for me to use the right one.
So I'm just gonna kind of like make my way like over to Morgan, because like earlier when I was like swabbing the deck, I saw her talking to someone, and she kind of looked like she had and there kind of looked like the conversation was interesting. So I was gonna go over there and kind of talk to her about it.
Ooh, my players want RP? Cool. I'll just sit back and watch.
Exactly. So it's like you're kind of like walks up. It's like, so Morgan, I saw you talking to someone earlier. What was that on about?
Morgan kind of leans in and best a conversation with not so many listeners. Savvy.
Ah, savvy indeed. Well, when you will, only able to tell, I'll listen.
Methinks we should maybe check if there's anything that needs to be secured down under.
Of course, there's always more that needs to be secured.
She kind of starts swabbing her way downstairs while looking if there's anything that that needs to be secured or if anyone needs help with anything.
All right. Well, everyone just seems to be kind of doing their own thing. Rosie actually kind of turns to you and asks, what's got you in a good mood? I hadn't seen you singing before. What got you going this morning, yeah? No, this afternoon.
May have killed a few things.
Good enough reason to sing, I suppose. I don't.
It's nothing like skewering a few vermin, if you catch my drift.
You were skewering the vermin, and she looks over at Tazak, and she's like, "Oh my! Does he? What's he?" And she looks at back and forth between you two, and she says, "Never mind. I don't want to know."
Morgan just kind of flat face turns away and just goes back into song. Continues swapping awkwardly while making sure that Iru is able to follow her, and it doesn't look too suspicious that they're both making their way down.
Oh, beautiful. Tazak, you up to anything, buddy?
I think I am going to head down to the bottom deck as well.
You're going down to the bottom deck to finish out today's chores. No problem. All right, and I'm going to give Quint and Eldon a quick chance if there's anything they want to do before we jump into the evening.
The only thing that Quint would do is, while Mr. Plug isn't observing him, he would try to discreetly just smuggle some food items that he can eat throughout the night.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, you work in the kitchen, man. That's dead easy. If you're trying to hide it from Croup, roll for stealth or.
Truth be told, I don't think he would even bother. He gets a pretty good vibe from Croup. He's like, if you want to survive, yeah. And then he just takes some food. He says, please actually do try some of this before we have to muddy it up. Because this is some good fucking food, my friend. There are many joys in life to be had. And while you're on this ship, food could be one of them.
Well, he's like picking his like belly button through his shirt. He says, "Oh, I think I'll do that." And he goes in and just like sticks his whole hand in one of the pots and just like pulls out a chunk of like something and just like pops it in his mouth.
Giant hunk of shark.
Yeah. Crumple a little bit of hardtack on top. Trust me.
Adds a nice crunch to it.
Yeah.
It's like, I knew there's a reason why I got you working down here. And it's not that you were forced on me.
You don't have to pretend, Croup. I get you, but I like to make best of rough situations, and we could get along pretty well.
Yeah. We're gonna be stuck on here for the rest of our lives. Might as well enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, hey, I'll drink to that.
You're not holding anything.
Yeah, but I gestured at the broken brandy bottle that you finished off.
Rum.
Yeah, same.
How dare
same
you?
Difference.
Them's fighting words. Okay. Well, you and Fish Guts share a bit of a heartfelt moment. Eldon, what are you up to, buddy? Just making the grog?
Nada.
All right,
Making
buddy. Keep it
grog.
up. Good work.
Chopping limes.
You're doing God's work over there. Cool. All right, so I will fast forward us, I guess, to the evening. So let's see how this works on your screen. I suspect everything should be okay. Is everything good? You guys can still see everything, right?
Yeah. Just
It's
got
getting
darker.
darker, getting some real spooky hours.
So atmospheric. I
Oh, it's
love
so
it.
good, isn't it?
I don't have dark vision. I can't
Wait,
see
actually?
shit.
Here is one weakness: the dark.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Yeah,
can see.
there
It's
are
just dark.
lights in the cabin. Actually, I should probably light those. I placed them, and then I had to redo the map, and then I never placed them again. So excuse me while I just like put a bunch of light sources down here so you guys can actually see what's going on.
I see fine.
There's one in the kitchen. What with that? They just straight up open brazier I found to serve as an oven. Or serve as a stovetop. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, I'm just gonna be a little lazy here and just kind of put like one central light source, even though it should really be multiple light sources. Forgive me while I work quickly to not interrupt the stream as much as All right, cool. So that should do. Y'all can see okay. You got bright lights more or less in the torches. Everything's Gucci. Cool. All right. Well, it is now evening, which also means that where is this one? It has begun to rain as well for the incoming storm. So we're going to do this one. And this should reload the map entirely, apparently. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Hope that was a quick reload.
It was.
Perfect. And it should be raining on your screens now, right? Because of course this has rain effects.
Yep.
Oh god, I love Forge so much. Foundry. Forge is the service. Foundry's
Yes.
All right. Well, it is nighttime. Just to give you guys a quick rundown of what was going on. During dinner, everything went well. Everyone was really happy for the meal. Unfortunately, Quintus didn't get to try any because he was stuck with half rations, which meant he got to eat some hardtack and some dry, rubbery jerky. That's the word I was looking for. So sad.
Meat of the preservation.
And then beyond that, Morgan, you were visited by a familiar face as Barefoot Sam's came up to you, and she just like slyly winked at you when she got your attention and kept on moving. Didn't actually stop to say anything, but you know, some reinforcement for later's gigs. Tazik, Rosie kept eyeing you up and down during dinner. Some curiosity there for sure. Iru, you're still the son of a pirate lord, and so people tend to give you a wide berth because who knows what the Ifrit son of a pirate lord is capable of. And
Well, getting a hole in his hand, that's one
right.
thing. He's
And
capable
Eldon,
of.
you're just vibing, buddy. You had a good meal. No one seemed to bother you.
Under the radar. That's the plan.
Keep your head down and survive. So Fish Guts at this point is retired into his room. Grok is still at her appointment, and everyone else is just kind of milling about the ship. Most people have come below deck to avoid the oncoming storm. As I slowly transition all of them here. So you two would. I'm just gonna do that. And that. All right, and then you take up your residence right there. Okay, perfect. So, the ship is set for nightfall. People are slowly milling around, conversating, gambling, playing with the pigs, teasing Owlbear, unfortunately. You see some people retiring to bed, and the ship is noticeably rocking more. Just for you guys' awareness, during the duration of the storm, the ship will be considered difficult terrain due to the size of the waves. Not that I think that'll
Makes
matter,
sense.
but just in case. And yeah, then that you got Ratline. Conchabar and Rosie are all playing some sort of dice game here. And Sly is just kind of like sitting in a corner playing with knives. But yeah, there you go. You guys have the ship. Impress me.
Quint would lean to Eldon and say, "Well, I'm glad we moved that wine before it got too wavy. This is crazy. I can barely keep my footing."
Oh.
Anyways,
Shit,
I'm gonna go
Quint,
party.
thank you for the reminder with barely keeping your footing. Can
Yep.
everybody roll a
Time that
fortitude
will-
save for me, please?
Got a
Fortitude.
Fortitude. No reflex for our poor Iru.
That should totally be a reflex.
No,
save.
don't worry. You guys will see what the fortitude save's for.
I am throwing a fit. Insert rage here.
Quint got an 11.
All right, so we got an 11, a 19, a 10.
I don't see what I rolled. My thing is rising out on me.
Quint is gonna
Oh, there we go.
retroactively. He's gonna use his selective luck
Hey.
racial trait to gain a
All right.
+2 to that roll.
18 for Iru.
That is his last usage for the day.
Insane. Eldon.
Oh,
Eldon. Anybody.
my God.
Dude, this has been.
So
This has just been. The King Eldon's no good, very bad
well,
day.
for the listeners only, Quintus rolled an 11, Morgan rolled a 19, Kazakh rolled a 10, Iru rolled an 18, and Eldon got
So
a
for
5.
anybody with a rank in Professions Sailor, if you beat a DC of 10, you're good. For anybody without a rank in
Okay.
Profession Sailor, if you beat a DC of 12, you're good. For those of you who failed those saves, you are seasick and will be sickened for the remainder of the storm.
Eldon just is gonna go to sleep and it's like, nope.
Really considering it.
Eldon, get some brandy in you. They don't have any over here, but I mean, I wouldn't. I'd look the other way if you snuck into the galley. Just saying.
Just at the word brandy, Eldon's doing a big like vertigo wobble, and he's like, "No, I better not. That's only gonna make it worse."
You do recall the bucket that Krupa has in his... You see Owlbear just kind of laughing at you as you're stumbling around, green in the face. All right, anyway, Quint, I cut you off, buddy. What were you up to?
Oh, that's fine. Quint was gonna head towards the dice games. He'll head to that direction. Get some carousing going.
All right, cool. Go ahead. Make some friends. Tazak, I see you're sneaking away to deal with your rats. I will gonna make you roll some handle
Yep.
animal checks for that in a little bit. Morgan, Iru, what are you guys up to?
We have that little conversation coming up about what Morgan was talking about.
So you got to go somewhere where there's no ears.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you guys are good. Cool. So yeah, by all means, have that conversation. Let's see what you got to say.
So I kind of like start kind of like walking towards the back here, kind of like where we fought all those like rats, because I feel like not many people should be back there anyways. As he was walking past the kitchen, kind of just like peeks his head in there, see if like anyone's
Galley's
in there.
empty.
Galley's empty. Yeah. So it's just like I kind of like gesture Morgan like to follow, just like inside here.
Morgan cautiously kind of steps behind. Oh, a wall there. And she shuts the door behind her. I think I shut it, right?
Yeah, it's closed.
Okay.
So, what exact conversation did you have earlier? Because I saw your face there. She was that lady you were talking to. She was spewing some words, and you kind of looked to believe them a bit. But with the twinkle of hope, I would choose to believe.
She spoke of a way to escape the ship tonight.
Huh. Well, in terms of escaping the ship tonight, I don't think escaping the storm would be very plausible. And both me and you have walked around the ship a fair amount, and I don't really remember seeing any boats to get off.
I didn't either, which is what makes me suspicious about the whole thing.
So on the ship here, you really need to be careful about what people say to you. It's it's just like any promise of a way off, any promise of an escape, especially on pirate ships like these. I've heard my fair share of stories where it just ends up with the swabs being dead. It never happened in my time as a pirate, on my father's ship, but I have heard stories about it on other lords' ships.
As I have from my grandfather's ship,
It's
which is
always best.
exactly why I think we should investigate.
We should, but we should also be very careful. What time did she say the escape was at?
She said midnight. But if I can be honest, I don't think I'm quite ready to leave without my personal effects.
I mean, the only personal effect I would need is my armor, my sword. My sword I don't really care much about. I can get one anywhere.
Shall we inform the others of this discovery?
We should. I'll go inform Tazuk if you
Right.
want to try to go talk to Eldon and the cook.
I'll go see what they're about.
Perfect.
The cook's name is Cook, guys. It's like he was born for it.
Yep, it's my
All right,
given
well,
name by
since
birth.
you're gonna walk towards Tazik, I'm actually gonna hop in with him here really quick. Tazik, do you have dark vision?
Yep.
So you're
Yes.
comfortable working in the dark? No need for a torch for you?
Yes. Exactly.
All right, that's what I figured. Cool. Well, let's see. You got two. What are you attempting to do with these indifferent dire rats?
I am going to pull a little bit of food that I saved from dinner out of my pocket
Yep.
and give it to these dire rats and start um, start endearing myself to them for the process of beginning to train them.
Alrighty. Well, so you're treating this as more like a wild empathy then? You're just trying to like get on their good side or get them more friendly towards you?
Pretty much. Yeah. So the actual process of training them will
Yep.
take a week to train them for any one
Yep.
item, and I only do one handle animal check halfway through to actually see if I succeed.
Thank you. I was actually looking up those rules
This is
as you
more
spoke,
just-
so thank you for that.
No worries. I did my
Okay,
research.
well, all right, cool. Well, then for now, we'll just vibe. Just for you don't have to say it out loud, but could you just message me what trick you're aiming to teach them first?
Will do.
Cool. So we'll go with that. Anything special about your training tonight, or should we just let Yuru come in and give you a conversate?
Now you can let
Alright,
Hero
Hero.
come in.
Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
Well, the bilges are pitch black and
Oh.
sloshy.
What? Wait. I do have something. So is there kind of like a broken piece of like wood anywhere, just like on like in the back area here before I jump down there?
Just like a discarded piece of wood. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Anything that I could like consider as like a makeshift weapon?
You're gonna light a.
It doesn't damage the weapon. It doesn't damage the weapon. It even says.
I mean,
so,
I don't know.
so.
You could probably.
You already used that spell today, dog. You
I-
already used that. It's the same day.
I can use it twice. It's per level. Yeah, I can use it. I think it's twice per level.
That's hot.
Pretty
Or
sure it's
I
once a
get-
day, but it scales with your level.
Yeah, so I get to use it twice a day because we're level 2, are we not?
No, hold on.
No. It scales with your level, but you get to use it once a day as a spell-like ability.
Sunmetal is spell-like ability. Yeah, once per day is a spell-like ability. So your caster level is
Damn.
equal to your Ifrit level. But, yeah, no, it's only one per day.
Yeah. Also, if you're an Ifrit, you should have dark vision.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't think Sunmetal
That's right.
I
gave
was gonna
up.
say, unless you traded it away.
Yeah, I mean, you might have been. You
I don't
might
think
have.
They actually don't have an option to
I
Maybe not.
trade
Yeah.
it away.
Oh, there you go.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think actually
Yeah, you
traded
can't
away.
trade it away. You can see perfectly in the dark up to 60 feet, so you're fine, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally forgot about that. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I kind of just like do the same thing I did when we were first entering the deck. I kind of just like lean on the ladder and kind of like jump down the last like couple
All right,
feet.
cool. Well, you splash down into the dark, murky depths, and you hear some chittering. And actually, I don't know, Taz. Like, how are you communicating at all with these rats? Or are you just like vibing with them?
I'm doing the like animal trainer like gentle hand out and feeding them, letting them sniff me.
Squeaking, squeaker. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So.
Yeah, squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeaking. I look back at Iru and I hear the sound. And I go, for the love of Besmara, stay back there.
I am. I know animals tend to be warded against me, so I'm keeping my distance.
These rats
Yeah, their
definitely don't
hackle.
like
They
you.
get up on their hackles a little here, and you do see that this one rat does take a step back and kind of hops onto the box of coals there.
Like I say, is there anything dry or any like barrels or anything like that in the
There's
in
all
the
sorts
room?
of little bits of storage containers. It's stuff that can afford to get
Okay.
wet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So.
I go over to here and go, what's up? What brings you to the
It's
villages?
I was so I was talking to Morgan, and she was told by someone on the ship earlier that apparently there's a planned escape at midnight tonight. Neither me or Morgan really believe it, as my time as a pirate and stories she's heard from her grandfather.
I don't much believe that that someone would just tell us that there's an escape so soon on coming on board the ship.
It's so it's just like me. So it's like me and Morgan. We split up to tell the rest of the formidable maid gang. And
Where is this escape attempt to be being made?
I didn't actually ask that. Because no, Iru didn't ask that question. That was the one of the things Iru didn't
I
ask.
mean, at least you're honest.
And it's just
Yep.
That's legit.
I will stay
I
down
was,
here and
I was just assuming that we were going to meet up in the in the below deck where we sleep.
I have much training to do with these rats. If I am to make use of them, but
Well, if there is an
If,
escape tonight, you can bring your rats and you can save them from the demise of Mr. Plug coming down here in a week to kill them.
I don't trust. I trust that I can beat the time. I also don't trust the escape to actually getting us clear. Might be a trap to convince the captain we're betraying.
Definitely, it most likely is a trap, but there's always that like little 5% chance of a glimpse of hope.
If you say so. And I go back to my rat friends, trying to calm down their hackles and like
They're
settle
just
them
kind
a
of like
little bit.
vibing there, chewing on some meat, you know.
Do.
And so with that, you're kind of like climbs the ladder as like trying to like hangs off the side of the ladder, just like trying to like stay 30 feet while just kind of climbing it up and leaves and closes the doors.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna hop over here to Morgan because she's got some news to break. How's it going, Morgan?
Good. Morgan's just sort of watching. I believe there's a game going
Yeah,
on.
they're just playing a dice game of some sort. You can't really be certain what's going on here. You think the rules might be made up, but everyone seems to be having a good time. So
He's just sort of vibing and She kind of leans over to the Quint and she's like, "When you've got a moment, I have some business."
Yeah, by all means. Hold on. I've only played a single game. Let me throw my ante, and I'll step away from the table momentarily.
Yeah, and sure enough, Quint will excuse himself briefly, say,
I just need to relieve myself, gentlemen. Bear with me for a moment. Rosie.
and he kind of bows awkwardly, and then he'll step away.
Rosie kind of like eyes you up and down and gives you a little bit of a smile.
And then, Quint will continue down the hall and follow Morgan.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Eldon's just like braced against the wall, trying so hard not to.
You got it, dude. He's back against the corner of the wall, hands flat, down by his sides. Just
Do we attempt to
praying
drag
for
him
anything
in?
that he can
You
anchor
can
against.
certainly try.
To drag him in with us?
You can definitely try. I mean, I'm sure he's a willing participant.
Yeah, seeing the whole squad kind of walk by out of the corner of my eye, I'll kind of, oh god, and try to like lean off the wall and see if I can actually stand and start trying to follow a little bit.
Morgan's gonna kind of head over to him. You need a hand.
No, I think that would make it worse. I don't need anybody seeing that. I'll manage. And I just kind of walk straight down the middle of the hall, try to put a finger on each wall next to me as I walk right down the middle.
Man, it would be great for a combat to start right now, wouldn't it? Y'all are still hurt.
Phenomenal.
Some ability drain. Y'all used some of your spell slots. The sorcerer can't see straight.
I don't know how, but as a sorcerer, I managed to use no spell slots.
Shot. That's true. You haven't.
I didn't use a single spell slot during that combat. Not even major. That would have made a lot of sense. But no,
Can't believe you
didn't cross my mind for a split second.
Hero status, man.
It's just
rats.
come
What's the
on.
worst that could happen? Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Sorry, but
As Quintus kind of follows Eldon and them, he looks at Owlbear there, and then he reaches into his pocket. He begins to pull out the like rotten fish, and then he's like, "Hold on a second, I can. Let me find you a little extra. Give me a few seconds." And then he kind of rushes after Eldon and Morgan.
he just doesn't really like respond at all.
Yeah, cool.
It's off in his own little world. Alright, so
as I see like everyone kind of like walking into the kitchen, I kind of nod my head at Morgan and just kind of like let people kind of like lead people kind of like into the kitchen. I'm gonna like kind of like remain outside and keep watch to see if
y'all are
anyone's
on a
coming.
ship. It is a galley.
Galley kitchen.
No, it's not. Don't dare say same shit. Fucking
I didn't say same shit. I said whatever.
next person to call it a kitchen gets a permanent negative. I'm joking.
A negative
You
10
lose a
to
hero point.
I'll
Constitution.
pile it on. I'm ready.
Permanent negative level. Just bet kitchen, kill me.
-1 to wisdom.
How many levels do I got? Quick.
Better have a wish stored away somewhere, because like it ain't coming back otherwise.
Well, Eldon's got a lot of
Her
wishes.
level 2.
None of them are coming
Yep.
true though.
We find the deck of many things. We can just fix that.
Yeah.
You know,
deal.
that is something I'm tempted to like randomly
We're not-
disperse
not
throughout the
doing that.
game or cards for the deck.
Yeah.
But like all it takes is one player who knows better to just tear up a couple of cards and that's it.
See, but I feel like that would just be metagaming, and that's no fun.
What do you mean,
so-
man? Any like wizard
Yeah.
or sorcerer,
You keep using
anyone
this
who's like
word.
familiar with the arcane can point out a deck of many things.
Yeah. A decent roll of knowledge arcane can tell you a lot.
And you can take 10 on knowledge arcane.
take a look at a deck of card, a seemingly mundane card that has any sort of aura on it, and any wizard or any arcane user worth their salt is going to be like, nope, and just then that's it.
Don't need that in my life.
There are some variations of the deck of many things I might actually put in the game just because they're a little less game breaking and a little more hilarious. But
Hilarious
We'll
is fun.
we'll see.
Usually.
You guys still have somewhere to find a certain stone, so I definitely can't leave the Wormwood without him. He's the most important member of the party.
The unsung hero.
Bro, if I find him first, he's going in the ocean.
No.
Too bad it's already written into Quintus's backstory that he's cursed and it follows him everywhere.
If you throw the stone in the ocean, then Quint is forced to have to continue to talk to you.
Good enough.
Good enough.
All right. Okay. It's like 9:30, so let's go, boys. Take it away. Kind of cut off your RP there.
Quint follows behind Eldon and Morgan and sees Iru down the hallway. Well, okay. Quint was following Morgan. I don't know. I lost Morgan. Oh, we're in the galley.
Morgan's in the
Okay,
galley.
she
Yep.
moves into the galley.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, you're just gonna like kind of like stay out of the kitchen, like, out of the galley.
I knew he was gonna do it.
I said
That's it. Permanent negative level.
The galley. Okay.
That's a hot
I'm
box.
just gonna kind of like,
It's hotbox.
I'm just gonna kind of, and you're just gonna like try to like keep watch out of the kitchen, make sure if someone does approach, just try to distract them. Hopefully, knocking another bullet in his hand.
Alrighty. Well, go ahead.
Morgan kind of slumps against a table, kind of exhales. She's like, right then. So, I got wind that there's an escape being planned tonight.
An escape. How did you hear this?
I heard it from Barefoot.
Barefoot. I don't think I met them. Sound like a halfling.
Human.
Awkward human.
I see.
Literally walks around barefoot. Anyway, I don't put much stock in it, but I wanted to let you know in case anyone is interested.
Now, how did you learn of this? Did you have to probe them, or did they just tell you?
They said it freely, which
Yeah.
leaves me
I mean,
quite suspicious.
as you're kind of implying, that does sound a lot like a trap to me. But, I mean, this is where it's good to have an extra set of eyes. If only we had someone we could just send down there to keep a lookout, figure out what's going on. Because that does feel like a trap. Though I guess I should clarify. I mean, we've been on this boat for, 2 days now? And already someone's come to you with plans of escape. I'm a little jaded, I suppose. I mean, I'm sure most of the people on this boat want to get out of here. From what I can tell, it seems like Mr. Plug goes out of his way to completely flame morale. It's obscene. That is not how you run a ship. I mean, and you see, actually, Quint kind of like does a double take, and he kind of looks around and says, my tongue is a little loose this evening. My apologies. But I am intrigued, but I've got a bad feeling about that meeting. Where is it happening?
The location
Bilges.
completely slipped my mind.
The bilge.
It's in the bilges.
Okay. Well, I mean, perhaps I could get an eye out on what's going on in there. I mean, I'm a little guy. I might be able to sneak in, but I feel a little iffy. Yeah. I mean, tell you what. Ah, shit. No, you know what? I got a really busy night ahead of me. I'm planning at least another hour with the dice, and then I gotta swing by. Well, let's just say I gotta swing by Fish Guts Croup's room real quick. Um, and then we can figure out the rest. I don't know. I'm pretty busy tonight.
I'm on a tight schedule myself.
Hmm.
But in any case, if there's something to find, it's where we ought to look when there's time.
Well, how about you, Eldon? You got any special magic-y powers that might help us figure out what's going on in the bilges tonight?
Not particularly. I mean, I don't have any plans, so long as I'm not standing there alone pretending to hide behind a barrel, I might be available to keep an eye out and watch for any interesting movement or activity. But no magical ability, nothing for this particular kind of situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's not worth the risk for me. I'm curious. I want to know what's going on, but I can't afford to get caught in some kind of strange after hours escape plan. I don't know. It's a little too sketchy for me. I need more info. But more importantly, I got a few other things on my mind. Um, uh, Eldon, it's good to know that you don't have much going on tonight. I mean, if you have some kind of way to keep an eye on the bilge doors, at the very least, see who's going in and who's going out, that'd be good. And Morgan, thanks for telling us. This is good info.
Mm.
Very good. I appreciate that.
Glad I could be of service.
Yeah, by all means. I don't suppose you'd want to sneak in there, see what's going on. I mean, you were directly invited. Perhaps you could have some kind of, I don't know. Shit, I know it's a bad plan. I don't know. I think if you go down there and get caught, it's not too good for us.
No, and I'm not exactly the stealthiest. Savvy.
Let's see. Yeah, I gotcha. Hell of a good blade hand, though. My goodness, you could. What kind of sword were you fighting with the other day? You were so quick I could barely even tell.
Pretty
A
sure that was this
rapier.
morning.
Oh my goodness, it's such a blur to me. I've been doing a lot of partying in between. I'm not gonna lie to you. You gotta really seek out the good times on the ship. But there's some good times to be had.
Oh, that I can agree with.
Yeah.
Shall we go back to the dice then?
Unfortunately, I think we're just gonna have to enjoy ourselves tonight. Ugh, I hate being such a wet blanket. I really want to know what's going on in the bilges. Well, I mean,
But not the time.
no, it's really not. I mean, hey, Eldon, if you want to keep an eye out, that would be great. But I mean, it's your night, buddy. Have fun.
Oh, I'll see what I can do. See how my legs feel in another hour or so of this rocking.
Quint goes to the galley door and opens it and sees Iru and says,
Iru, come on in, buddy.
Iru,
Well,
there
hello.
is something I
Yes.
should mention to you. Is that while you're standing there, keeping guard, which is a great way to broadcast to everyone on the ship that there's something going on behind a closed door.
Well,
"Yep."
I mean, I wasn't just like, it's just like I had my character right there, but it was kind of like walking up and just kind of like down the halls.
Gotcha. You're pacing. Okay. But one thing
Yeah,
that's fair.
one thing I should mention is that the entire time you were vibing, just like chilling out, doing your thing, pacing, whatever, Owlbear never took his eyes off you.
I'm just kind of like looking at the boy. And it's just like every single time I turn around, it's kind of like I kind of like put my hand up. It's kind of like nod my head.
Just gives you this big toothy grin where like he's got more holes in his teeth than he does actual teeth. And he gestures to his shoulder where he's got all the like crab shells, and he hey.
I kind of I kind of like walk up. It's like, hey, what's up?
And he's like pointing at the crab shells.
What about the crab shell?
Then he like gestures eating.
I kind of like one second, good sir. As I kind of like walk back, and just like I kind of like take a peek into the galley. It's like, hey, the crab boy is wanting some food.
Oh yeah, well yeah, of course. Sorry, I got. And Quint starts fishing into his pocket. And he pulls out this kind of like off rotten seafood, and he's like, "I was given this to feed him. From what I gather, apparently he likes the stuff. But here, Iru, take this. But give me another minute. I wanna make something else for Owlbear here. I don't know if he'll eat it, but come now, we got so much excess food. Give me a few seconds." Quint's gonna make his way over to one of the rat steaks, and he's just gonna carve a real tiny piece off, and he's gonna grab a cast iron pan that probably still has some residue in it, and he's just gonna throw it onto the stove and start heating it up.
Nice. All right. Making a
And that's
hot
that.
meal for Owlbear. Cool. What are the rest of you guys up to?
Yeah, he's
Oh, sorry. Quinn, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he's just carving off a very small section of it, and he's just trying to get an idea if what Fish Guts told him is true. If Owlbear really does prefer rotten fish over cooked normal meat, he wants to know for himself. So he's figuring this out.
All right. Fair enough. That is the second time my stream cam has had to reset. That is weird. Don't know what's going on there. But that is all right.
So as he begins making the food, he kind of just like walk off and just kind of like examining what like whatever the piece of food that the Quintus just gave me. It's just like interesting, and just kind of like walk up to the owlbear, and as I see like Eldon walking beside me, it's just like, so how fast do you think you'd eat this?
Well, the other night we gave him an entire barrel, and by the time we woke up, the barrel was empty. So that, don't blink.
Yeah, so, and I kind of just like put it up, and it's just like kind of like I'm keeping my distance. I kind of don't want my hand to get ripped off. I'm kind of just like keeping my distance here, and kind of like put it up. It's like, is this what you want?
He like sniffs the air. This is the cooked one that Quintus made, right?
No, this is
the
the uncooked one that he pulled out of his pocket.
Perfect. Yeah. So Albert just kind of sniffs the air and he just like grabs it, and it's like in like one fell swoop, it's like out of your hand into his mouth and just gone.
See, I was trying to keep my distance so he couldn't do that. But okay.
Oh, I guess you're like 5 feet away. Yeah. So yeah. You know, he sniffs the air and he's like,
so I'm just kind of like,
it.
and so I just kind of like throw it at him. Kind of just like
catches it with his teeth. And just like you see like the crunch and like juices pouring down his face as he just like inhales this poor delicious morsel.
Fair enough. I kind of just like look at him. It's like, damn, he works fast.
I told you, don't blink.
Good old Owlbear. All right. And Quintus, you got some food for Owlbear. Morgan, you said you're heading back to Dice. Excellent.
Yep.
All right, Quint. So you want to perform this little experiment with Owlbear then?
Quintus is currently muted.
Banned.
Yeah, that'd probably help if I could talk. Yeah, so Quint will continue forward and kind of come beside Eru and say, so I take it that from the chewing that he ate the rotten food?
Yes, he kind of did. I don't even think you could call it what he did eating. He just kind of caught it with his mouth and just, I don't think
the
he
technical
breathed.
term is slurp. He slurped it.
Yeah. You can see on Quint's face, there's almost like a little bit of appreciation. And he says, I see he inhaled it. All right, good to know. then he kind of fishes out that very basic small sliver of rat flank that had probably like 6 hours of dry aging, so it's just enough to develop a little bit of a crust while it was thrown in the pan. And yeah, and he kind of holds it out to Owlbear and says, full disclosure, Quint doesn't think Owlbear understands him, but he says, I figured you might appreciate something prepared with a bit of a culinary hand, and he kind of holds it out to
he like gingerly like approaches, like kind of like crouched down. He comes up to it and he reaches out and like touches it and like recoils a little, and then he sniffs the air and like grabs it and just like, and he just like throws it over his shoulder into the pig pen, and he looks at you.
Well, I tried. And he kind of looks, he like follows it through the air, sees it land with the pigs, and sees it start getting eaten by the pigs. And he's like, as long as the pigs have it.
If you eat the pig, then you get to have it later.
Facts. That's just
That's
science.
Right. Matter cannot be destroyed.
Quint would kind of step over to Eldon and say, well, I guess Owlbear truly does prefer well-cultured seafood. Good to know.
Yeah, well, it would seem to be the case.
That's definitely one way to put it. Well cultured. Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate it. I just hate it.
And then, oh yeah. Quint then looks at Sly in the corner, shrugs his shoulders, and then heads over to where all the dice games are.
As Morgan and Quint approach the dice game, things have certainly developed. Conchabar is completely naked except for his hat, which he just like refuses to give up.
Excellent.
Ratline is sitting with like all of his clothes parked in front of him, and all of Conchabar's clothes parked in front of him, and like Sandara and Rosie are just laughing. You're a little rosy cheeked. You can tell they've been drinking a little and are just having the best time they can in this godforsaken ship.
Well, things certainly got out of hand. What are we going? 5 minutes?
You guys let the fun happen without us.
And they just kind of like, Rosie and Sandara are just like singing some tune merrily. And Ratline is just like, he's got like a respectable pile of copper in front of him. And obviously Conchabar's clothing. And Conchabar is just like, it's like he's embarrassed, but he's determined to win. To win his clothes back. You can see it in his face as he's going on about how this isn't the worst pinch he's ever found himself in, and he can get himself out of this with not a problem at all. Why, there was this one time where I was stranded in the middle, and like you just kind of like tune out as he drones on a little bit. And Quint, you notice a familiar face kind of stomp down the stairs as a tall green woman has entered the chat. And the way she's like stumbling a little bit, you can tell she's a little drunk. And she just kind of walks by and stops to like look at Conchabar, giggles to herself, and then like winks at Quint. And just makes her way down to her bedroom.
Quint, you can see he like words come to his mouth, and then he kind of stops himself, and he says, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Enjoy the night.
Oh, dear.
You as well.
All right. So that's where Quint will probably spend the rest of his evening. Next week, we'll find out how well he does. Yep. Did Quint survive? Find out next week.
We'll just cast guidance real quick.
I think the first time I had one of those
Roll
happen,
performance
I made the
and
player
fort save.
roll. It was performance, of course, 100%, just a straight performance check, followed by Constitution, acrobatics.
I'll give you that.
Specifically, the
performance check right now,
acrobatics
goddammit.
was the acrobatics was that he wanted to grab his
that's
clothing
right,
and
that's
flip
what
out of the room because the girl's dad came in. To be fair,
Oh, good.
And he not 20'd it, so he did a flying flip over top of the girl and her father with his clothes in hand. He was a monk. Landed on the other side, sprinted out the door naked, and was never seen or heard from again. Absolute legend.
Legendary. All right, Iru, Morgan, Morgan and Elgin, Eldin. Oh my goodness, what are you guys up to? Anything in particular before I wrap up the tonight session?
Deciding I'm going to turn in early because Eldon cannot stand at this point, and he's just given up trying.
Mm-hmm.
He's headed to bed.
That's where you went.
All right, Iru's for bed, Eldon's for bed. Morgan, what are you up to?
Morgan remembers a certain engagement she was supposed to have, and decides it's not polite to go empty-handed.
Wait, you're going through with that,
So,
mad woman? All right. So what are you going for?
She's gonna go look for some rum or something alcoholic of that extent to bring with her.
All right. Well, you know where the galley is. You know it's unguarded and unlocked. So, by all means.
This isn't gonna end well.
How many fortitude saves?
I mean, just to like hold her lunch with that beer breath or whatever the hell's going on with that man. Well, you find the nearest bottle of alcohol. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just like alcohol?
Something that won't be particularly missed.
All right. Excellent. Cool. Well, I mean, most of that alcohol is probably not really inventoried, so you grab something that looks kind of cheap, but not really cheap. You know, not the cheapest, but not the most expensive. And I guess you head up on deck to meet with your date. And I use that term loosely.
Oh, yep.
Man, she could have escaped the ship tonight, guys. Instead, she chose to spend it with Scourge, who is smoking his pipe underneath the overhang to the officer's cabin, and he looks you up and down and says, "I knew you'd come. Women can't say no to me."
I feel like we need to get Morgan a whistle.
And Morgan, I think we'll leave it there unless there's anything you would like to do specifically.
Nope.
I vote
to
for
black.
I vote.
All right. Well, you
Hello,
are the
darkness, my
first
no.
player, I think, to actually see what the inside of the officer's cabin looks like.
Ooh.
So,
Iru saw briefly the top.
oh, that's
from the
right,
top down.
that's right. But she gets to see everything up close and personal. She gets to see Mr. Plug's
Oh, my.
sleeping body.
Ooh, my.
First, you get to see Scourge's awake body.
I'm hoping she's a couple of grogs in.
I mean, there are as many grogs as you want, and
She drank half the barrel.
guys are a bunch of horn dogs. 3 days, and look at you boys go. All right, Iru in bed early. Eldon in bed early. And I think I'm going to leave it here with a small something before we cut to black. Tazik, as you're sitting there training with your rats, you hear a splash, and as you turn to look, everything just kind of goes black. And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Next time we learn that Tazik is dead.
Yep. Next session, new character.
Never fired a shot.
Fired a shot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's where we'll cut this off. And this time I'm actually going to use the ending screen. I'm going to remember to switch over